Hey there, Carly Myers here, and welcome to the Stress Less Show, an educational art show that addresses stress and what to do about it. This month, we're actually covering the topic of money. Dun dun dun. Money is the top stressor for both genders in the United States, and we really want to do something about it. I say it's time to do something about it. So we brought on a guest, Mala Dukhi. She's a money mindset expert and certified CPA and life coach to talk about this very, very important topic. Specifically, this episode, we're going to be talking about budgeting. All right. Happy watching. Welcome back, Mala.
Hi, thank you for having me back. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So before we jumped on creating this video, we talked about what would be a really beneficial thing to talk about in terms of money, and we landed on budgeting. But before we talk about budgeting, I would love, Mala, if you could just share a little bit more about you for those of our viewers who didn't catch you on the first two videos.
So I'm a CPA as well as a trained life coach. So I have a unique combination of 25 years of working as a CPA in corporate America and a life coach where I deal with mostly your mindset and what's happening with your mind regarding your money. So I combined mindset with practical tools so that you can get to a place of peace and clarity and freedom with money in your life.
I love that combination. This is something that we're not necessarily seeing. We have like our accountants and we have this and that and this, but combining the things that, especially mindset, that tends to sabotage our relationship with money. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yes.
Great. So when we chose budgeting, we talked about offering like one or two tips for those of us who are watching. So we'd love to hear, maybe what your biggest piece of advice is, or a tip or two that we can walk away with.
Okay. So here's the deal with budgeting. I know it sounds really boring and not sexy at all. And most people that I've talked to avoid looking at their numbers. And the more you avoid, the more anxiety / stress you're going to have. So please take a look at your numbers. Even if you spend 10 to 15 minutes every week, track your numbers. I promise you, once you start looking at your numbers, you will feel a lot less stress. So take a look, 10 to 15 minutes every week. Take a look to see how much you're earning versus how much you're spending. And that will decrease your levels of stress, even though it's not fun. And you're most likely not going to enjoy it. Put some nice music on, have a cup of tea, coffee, whatever makes it better. Just, yes, makes it less boring. But take a look at this because your stress level will go down.
Yeah, it's this fear of the unknown that seems to get most of us. And so when we avoid our money, it is this like huge fear of the unknown.
Yes. Yeah. And I promise you the stress that you feel not looking at it is far greater than the stress of actually looking at the numbers. That's a smaller stress. So if you want to look at that in perspective, because you have like all this worry in your mind 24/7 about what's going on with your money. If you were to spend 10, 15 minutes a week doing that and not worry for the rest of the time, you will be far less stressed.
Yeah, those like little pieces of worry that every time you pull out your debit card or your credit card, you like have that anxiety. Those add up versus sitting 10 or 15 minutes. So that's a really great tip, is to just like sit down and get the stress over with so that you can be stress free the rest of the week, if not month. So what do you?
Yes.
I'm curious to hear. I've had some conversations recently about people who say they budget, but I'm led to believe that they don't. So what do you say about someone who's looking at their numbers but maybe aren't being disciplined about their numbers, or like that kind of scenario? I'm curious. I know I threw that one at you.
If you're not disciplined about your numbers, I'm just gonna say get a financial coach. You need honestly, you need accountability. If you're not disciplined about your numbers, get a financial coach. And also, like when you're budgeting, you have to compare each month, compare the numbers you have budgeted to your actuals and see what the variance is, and come and have an analysis of where you went over or under and why. Like you need to have that knowledge going into the next month. So I guess if you start to do, like, have that self-discipline to do it, and if you're not able to do it for yourself, then hire someone to help you. I promise you that it will get better. It will get better. And I know there's a lot of avoidance and shame around money. So hire someone that you feel comfortable with, and someone also who's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah. So tip 1 is to spend at least 10 to 15 minutes a week. And tip 2 is, if you're avoiding your numbers, or if you say you have a budget but you are not being disciplined, hire an accountability coach or an accountant or whatever it is. Get the support that you need. I just thought I would throw in a tip here too, and now that I'm thinking of it, which is there's an app called You Need a Budget. Have you heard of that app, Mala, at all?
I have, yes.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal app in that it basically links to your bank accounts, and Mala, when you said compare last month's numbers to like what you budgeted versus what you spent and all of that, it really streamlines the process. The only problem with it is that it costs money. Right. But it's a really great budgeting app that you can use. But if you're not disciplined and you're feeling like you have the Excel spreadsheet or whatever you have, and you're not following, or even a budgeting app, and you're not following through, accountability is key in order to get to that.
It is. And sometimes you're in so deep and you're so overwhelmed, you may need a helping hand to help you dig out of it. Yes.
So how do you work with people whenever say I am that person, you're speaking to my soul right now. How do I go about what is the process of working with you like?
The first thing I look at, believe it or not, is your mindset. Like, what's going on with your mind about money? Because whatever's going on in your mind about money is going to show up in your bank account. Like, it directly correlates to what I'm going to see in your bank account numbers. So I give a bunch of homework for me to understand what's happening in your mind, and immediately I start looking at your numbers, your dollars. What are you spending and what are you earning? And then we start switching the belief system around. Whatever you may believe that I'm not worth earning a lot of money, or something that's preventing you from living to your full potential, and we will start addressing those beliefs one by one, and then you will see your numbers changing and your bank balance reflecting the new you, however you have worked on yourself and your mindset.
That's a good point, is that if we're not disciplined, like, that's why your money and your tactical tips or your mindset and your tactical tips together are key, because if you don't change that mindset, you're not going to change the way.
Exactly. Because if you don't switch your mindset, you may hire someone and look at your numbers today and next month, but then once you're done with that, you will go back to the same patterns, because you have not addressed the problem at the root, which is your mind and your belief system around money.
So for those of us watching at home that are interested in addressing the root of the problem and not just put a Band-Aid on it, Mala is actually going to be offering something. So Mala, do you want to share?
Yes, I'm going to be offering the viewers a free call with me we can get on the phone if you have an issue regarding money that you want help on. I will offer you a free conversation on the phone, and we could address that and get as much done as possible for about 30 or so minutes on the phone. And you can reach me if you're interested at Mala at wisewomensmartmoney.com.
Perfect. And guys, these spots are limited, so they are first come, first serve. So make sure that you shoot that email over ASAP if you want a spot. She can't do all of her work for free. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Mala, for coming, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Hey there, Carly Myers here. Thank you so much again for tuning in for our episode on budgeting. I hope that you learned something that will help you get to the point where money is no longer a key stressor for you. And if you're enjoying our free content, the episodes of the Stress Less Show, we would absolutely love some support so that we can keep this free content going. If you visit us at patreon.com/stresslessco, that's patreon.com/stresslessco. You'll help us create more amazing content like this, as well as get access to exclusive perks like a digital print of the drawing you see me drawing right now. You can use it as a coloring page. You can hang it up as a poster, and get access to even more exclusive content on our Patreon page. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.